Hello and welcome to the Of Mouse and Men podcast. As always, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Angelo.
And how is everybody doing? Welcome back to the greatest Disney podcast on the planet.
True.
The reviews are in. I heard from somebody who heard from somebody that it's good. Don't take my word for it.
I also heard from somebody that it was good.
Way to go, guys. We did it. High five, team.
But yeah, welcome back to another thrilling week. Today we have some interesting topics. You know, we got mainly just talking about Toy Story Land and all the Toy Story Lands, really.
What I like to call the land of false promises. Toy Story Land.
Jeez.
At least here in America. Toy Story Land opened here at Hollywood Studios. What year? It was a few years ago. Was it last year? 2019, yes. I want to say. 2019.
Was it 2018. It was a year before Galaxy's Edge, right?
Sure. Yes, 2018.
Opened
2018. Opened June 30th, 2018.
Yeah.
Says the facts. And you know, it's what it is, but it could have been better. I think we've talked about it on this podcast, how it could have been better.
Yeah, so we're going to go more into detail about what we thought could have been better.
Yes.
And what the version that we have right now.
Yes, and more importantly, we're going to go through all of the Toy Story lands around the world so we can prove to everybody how it could have been better, because they've built a better park before. Yeah. So, Angelo, do you like the Toy Stories?
Yeah, I like Toy Story 1, I like Toy Story 2, and I like Toy Story 3.
I agree. There's one missing.
I don't know what you're talking about. I think it's a good trilogy. That's it.
I love the Toy Story trilogy. I love all three. The fourth one, I like. I think it's fine.
I think it's fine. It's a fine movie.
Yeah, I think about it in terms of like Toy Story of Terror and the Toy Story That Time Forgot. Like those
I would agree.
Short spin-offs that I put Toy Story 4 with those because it's good as like a fun movie, but it's not the trilogy. It's not part of the Toy Story trilogy.
Yeah, I think it just there's too much I didn't like about it.
But I agree, but we're not here to rant about Toy Story 4. So let's get into the first Toy Story Land that came about, and this was at Walt Disney Studios Park. It's the second park in France. So it's next to Disneyland in Europe, and it's the Walt Disney Studios Park. It's a very tiny land. It's basically Universal Studios / Hollywood Studios, but it's just buildings that are brown.
Yeah, it's just all like studio buildings.
It's just a studio park. It's got nothing really other than that. And then they started adding what is the Toy Story area, Ratatouille, started giving it more stuff. But it was really
Is that what they're supposed to add another Galaxy's Edge or no? Because they're adding one somewhere.
Right. I think it's getting it's supposed to get the Avengers Campus. I believe. I don't know if it's supposed to get it was supposed to get this huge refurbishment. I think Frozen Land is supposed to come to there. It was supposed to do this huge. It's temporarily closed when I looked it up. Give me 1 second. Concept art. Let's look. I think it was supposed to get. Yeah, it was supposed to get Frozen. And it's supposed to get, I think, Galaxy's Edge, but I think Galaxy's Edge has been put on the back burner. But more, it's supposed to get the Avengers stuff.
Right. But yeah, so that's where.
So it's gonna look amazing. But basically, when it opened, in the Studios Park, it was meant to be a promotion for Toy Story 3, and it opened as Toy Story Playland, which is kind of cute. And it's basically, we'll talk more about it when we talk about Hong Kong, which is the next one to open, because it was basically the exact same thing, but this time it was actually Toy Story Land and not just Toy Story Playland. But yeah, so it was just Toy Story Playland. It opened up in that park. So let's get into Hong Kong, because that was the next one to open, and that's basically what the Playland is, but so we'll get into depth. But this is actually Toy Story Land now.
Right. This is when they're like, all right, let's make a bunch of these.
And the first memory I have of this was when I went to Hong Kong Disneyland. there was the construction walls for what would be Toy Story Land in the future. And I remember looking at these walls being like, this looks so cool, but I'll never get to go to it. I'll never get to go to a Toy Story Land because when am I coming to Hong Kong again? So I was sad that I didn't get to go to actually the place. But, you know, it is what it is. But I remember those walls.
You remember the walls.
I remember just like I remember the Seven Dwarfs.
There must have
walls.
been good walls.
I remember the Seven Dwarfs walls at New Fantasyland when they opened New Fantasyland, but they didn't finish Seven Dwarfs. I liked those walls because they had the dwarfs on them.
So yeah, Toy Story Land, you know, in Hong Kong, it's got some good rides. It's very different from the one we have in Hollywood Studios. Mainly, every ride is different.
Right. So the average is 3 rides at all of these lands. And so the Hong Kong has what I thought was the coolest thing as a kid, and it's the Toy Soldier Parachute Drop. And it's basically like one of those, like, I wouldn't say it's a drop tower because it's like one of those like slow like you're falling kind of parachute drop towers. But as a kid I was like, this is so cool. They're literally dropping people from the sky. I thought it was so cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I really like the I don't know what you would call it.
The RC coaster?
The RC coaster, yes.
That's cool. It's one of those simple
part.
It's one of those simple coasters that like goes up and then goes
back, just the half circle. But I mean it's a proven coaster design, right?
What surprises me is how many people they're able to fit on.
Oh yeah,
the RC.
It's a ton of people.
It's like, what is it, 4 and 5? It's like, so like 20 people they could fit on this. Like, that's pretty impressive. Is that 5? Yeah, it's 5, I think.
Yeah.
20 people they fit on like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's the most interesting ride in this park. And then you have a little Slinky Dog wraparound, little like I don't know what the style of ride would be called.
Is it like a caterpillar ride? Is that what they call it?
Maybe. I don't know the, like official names for rides, but I know like it's this kind of ride. It goes in a little circle. It's a kid's ride.
I like how it's like themed. You have like the dog toys in the center. Yeah. I think that's really cool. And there's like a baseball. Really cool. And just one thing we'll talk about these Toy Story lands that's in direct contrast to Hollywood Studios. Look how much land there is. Look how much open space and free area there is to walk around. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to spend time.
Park, it looks like, or at least more so than Hollywood Studios.
And I like that like at the entrances to each one you have the characters. So like Toy Story Playland had Buzz, and then here in Hong Kong they had Woody and Rex is like your entrance characters that said hey. And I like that. I like that they have them. They're huge compared to you because I guess you're the size of an army man.
Right.
Which is really interesting.
No, yeah.
Like, that's really cool theming.
I think the best part about all the Toy Story lands is just the theming in the areas with all the like toys. And you have like, all of Andy's toys, and you have like crayons everywhere, and you have like Connects and like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love the theming of... I like the idea of Toy Story Land, that you're the size of a toy and you have all these cool things like toys. The bathrooms are always fun because they're like some toy bathroom. Not as good as the Tangled bathrooms, but they're great bathrooms. Or the Galaxy's Edge bathrooms. I love the Galaxy's Edge bathrooms.
Galaxy's Edge bathrooms are too good.
They are. I really feel like I'm in like the back of some like planet somewhere, washing my hands in like dirty water.
But yeah, then we move on to Shanghai, right?
Yes, Shanghai was the next one to open. And Shanghai, it didn't open with Shanghai Park. It opened later. I don't know the exact date. Let's look to see what the exact date was. It opened in the year 2018. So the same year that Hollywood Studios opened. Shanghai Disneyland opened their Disney park. Same year. Now let's look at the difference between these parks. The noticeable difference is the space. There is a huge amount of space in their Toy Story Land, even though there's really not that much land dedicated to it. But there's just so much space in there. And the thing that I wish we had, because it was in our concept art here, but they have it, and it's Al's Toy Barn.
Yes.
I think theirs is called Al's Toy Box. But oh my gosh, Angelo, it's so cool.
I think that's the biggest mistake. In terms
we don't have that
Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like it's kind of like it's such an obvious thing, and we'll get into. We think that Toy Story Land is a little lacking.
Yes,
but just
you
looking
can't
at
tell.
Shanghai's, like it's much more like winding. You got what's it called? My bad. I'm blanking on names today. Apparently,
the RC coast.
Yeah, there's a lot more to look at. There's a lot more to like see. I mean, yeah, you do have the RC coaster. There's that whole like western area that seems really cool.
I mean,
and
yeah, you can go.
I was just gonna say, I feel like there's a lot of missed opportunity in the Hollywood Studios one.
And the one I really like about Shanghai is there's a lot of characters everywhere in Shanghai. Like there's a Rex near the it's called Rex's Racers, I think, and the RC coaster there is themed to Rex driving the RC. And you have Rex and what's her name? Trixie, the Tyrannosaur,
yes.
The Triceratops. That's the dinosaur. She's there hanging out. Like you got all the Mr. Potato Heads there. I think this is like, I like that all the characters are spread out, because at Hollywood Studios you have Jessie and Rex on Slinky Dog, and then just Woody and Buzz. You don't have like the characters everywhere,
right?
Which I like a lot about Shanghai's version. Their RC coaster's cool because they have it.
Their eating area I think is a lot cooler. They have the Buzz packaging thing from Toy Story 2, which is really cool.
Yeah, they have a Lotso packaging one too. It's like hugs. Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head have an area that's really cool. Just a lot of cool stuff that like really like it themed. Like I would say the Hollywood Studios one is themed to toys mostly, whereas this is themed to the Toy Story characters.
True.
Like much more.
Agree.
And they have what is the cutest ride ever, which is the I don't even know what it's called. It's the like do you know what this one's called, Angela? It's the one with the horses.
Woody's Roundup.
Woody's Roundup. It's adorable. It's literally the cutest ride. You ride.
It looks very similar
Woody
to
and
the
Bullseye.
Swirling Saucers.
I think it's the same ride system as Swirling Saucers, but this is. I think this is better themed. I like the theming of better than the space.
Look, you got the Pixar ball here. There's just so much going for the Shanghai one.
Yeah. Dude, I can't get over how cute this ride is. You could ride a horse, and Sheriff, the West works so much better than like space in Hollywood Studios if they were to retheme it. Like, because the space area is just kind of sitting there, where if you had the Sheriff, such a missed opportunity.
And also, then you get that old Hollywood, old like sheriff stuff. You know, we're back to the themes of original Hollywood Studios.
That's just what you want.
That's just what I want, Kevin.
Angel's like, we should have used this land for. You can build your.
Use the land for just remake the backlot tour.
Toy Story backlot tour.
But yeah, so
I think they should do
Hollywood Studios. I think, right?
Yeah, I think they should do the Muppets backlot tour.
I disagree that they should do
really
the Muppets backlot tour, Kevin.
I think it's such a good idea. It's like a parody backlot tour.
Oh, maybe. I mean, I don't like that everything has to be themed, but that's another story. Kevin.
I agree with you. But you have to. It's just what people want.
Listen, Bob Chapek, change it up, my boy. Come
Bob
on.
Chapek's not going to change it up.
Bob Chapek, do it. Come on.
He's the one. He's been running the parks. What do you mean? Now that he's the CEO, he's going to drastically
get
change.
the new guy. Get me. Hire me. I'll just re-put in the backlot tour.
Hire him directly out of college, Disney. No questions asked. He'll do it.
Dude, no, just hire me now. Don't even wait till out of college. I'll do it right now.
He doesn't want that debt. Okay.
So let's go on to Hollywood Studios, right?
Yes, because Hollywood Studios
Is a
there's so there are there's 3 rides. One of them is reused from what they had, Toy Story Mania, which, listen, Toy Story Mania is a fun ride, but I would have liked for them to put like RC or something else there. Not there, but like in the park for this expansion. You only expanded it 2 rides.
So to be honest, I do think Slinky Dog is probably the best ride of all the Toy Story lands.
I agree.
But then I would say that like the rest of the land is just severely lacking.
I think Alien Swirling Saucers, while it's fun and it's like a ride that they have like most of their parks, Disney, because they just love this ride system. It's not. I don't know. I'm not crazy about Swirling Saucers. I think
it's fun. Like I don't know. It's fun. It's
fun, but I mean, I would have preferred the cute bullseye one over the ugly aliens. I shouldn't say ugly.
The main issue with Toy Story Land, right, is that one, the concept art is 10 times better than the actual land.
The concept art may be the greatest concept art ever. I mean, it's got Al's Toy Barn in there, the sheriff stuff.
Right? 2, we've talked about this. This is my main complaint. The land is literally a straight road through.
It literally is.
And the concept art even like is more varied. Not much, but it's at least more.
Yeah, but the concept art I think has more like it has Woody on Bullseye in the entrance to like the
fact that they even have
like
that
there's more area
part in the concept art that goes like around the Slinky Dog Dash. That's so cool. Why didn't we do that?
Right. I think it's a big missed opportunity to have. Because you're in a backyard. I think it would be cool if you have all these areas you can explore, and it's just a line. And then Galaxy's Edge is right there. So you come out of Galaxy's Edge, and there's just Buzz, right? Or vice versa.
Yeah, I hate that sight line. Even though it's technically like out of Galaxy's Edge, it feels too wrong to me, too close.
And I think the biggest problem they face is that you have the Toy Story Mania show building where it is. Because you have Municiberg on the other side. And that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
I don't think it's that big an issue. I think that's a little over.
I hate Municiberg. I hate it. It's literally just like a cheap overlay of an alley. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. You could have done something else.
So, I mean, I think also, like, the fact that Slinky Dog in the concept art, it's like there's like that little like toy pail and shovel, and it's dug out, is the coolest thing ever. I don't know why that isn't. I think they must have ran out of money or something, or like put more money to Galaxy's Edge.
I think that's exactly it. I think they were focusing on Galaxy's Edge, and Toy Story Land took the back seat.
Because there's no way that like. These all seem like no-brainers, and the final land, and obviously we're going to be more critical of this one than the other land since we've been to this. Yeah. But it seems like there's so much missed opportunity. Just having the coaster go into Toy Story Land more, and being more a part of the land where like, oh, here it juts out into the walking area, or here there's a bridge over it, and like it's themed so it looks like Andy dug out the lines to like put the track in. It all seems like they set themselves up to be really good, and then like they must have ran out of money.
And I also think the land here is in Hollywood Studios is very distinctly less of like there's less put into it than there was at Shanghai, Hong Kong, because I think it's clearly better themed, and and these other locations based on like with the Toy Story characters. This to me seems like a lot of great theming in a very tiny area. And I think a lot of it, like, it's a ride that's always already there. Swirling Saucers is like fine, and Slinky Dog is your main ride. I think there's not as much in Toy Story Land here as there is in the other parks. I think especially like food wise, there's a lot more options for food. Here we just have Woody's Lunchbox, but like other places you have much better options and shopping areas.
There must have just been something, because even where Woody's Lunchbox is in the concept art, it's not there in the actual park. It's switched with that other building, which I assume in the concept art is a bathroom. We know in the actual version it's a bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
So something had to happen. Obviously, there's no Al's Toy Barn in the actual version, and this western area isn't there yet, although they are now planning on building that, and we have concept art for that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool, but it seems like everything's just, even you have like the Buzz thing where like his packaging, but it's like up there. It just feels like there was a lot less put into this version and just put into this land than there should have been.
And even the barbecue restaurant that they have concept art for, it's just a box. It's not even like it's gonna be like the area they promised us. It's gonna be a box, and I think it's actually it's pretty cool. Like there's like the Woody's boot with the snake in my boot. I love the theming of Toy Story Land, like you're the size of a toy. But I think this is like, I don't know why we in Hollywood Studios are getting.
This is pretty weak.
We in Hollywood Studios are getting, we're getting the poop end of this Toy Story Land stick. Why are we getting the not so good version? Because we know this land can be done so much better, right? If you have the space, if you actually expand it a little bit, I think it giving this area more would be a lot. Having the Al's Toy Barn. Why does a land themed to toys not have a toy store?
Right? I can't believe, like, there's just so much money missed.
It doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't. I don't know. It's a little sus, Disney.
And I mean, I love the theming that they do have, right? You have so much with like wooden block structures and playing cards and so much cool stuff, but there's just so much lost potential.
Especially at night. At night, Toy Story Land is amazing. I love it at night. They have like the Christmas lights everywhere. I think it's really cool. But the problem is, it's so overcrowded there. You can't basically move a lot of the time, especially if you're there when it's too crowded. It's like, I don't know what they were thinking. There's no space there. It's just a road. I also like the trucks that have the like Playmobil trucks where they sell merchandise because they don't have a store.
Because there's no store.
So, but they're really cute, like little Playmobil trucks. Like, that's cute. I like that. The theming is cute and well done, and I like Toy Story Land. I just think it's not as good as it could be.
Yeah, and I mean, the fact that it's just literally like a street and like there's almost no variation just really, I think, is just not as good as it could have been.
Because Toy Story
obviously
Mania,
there's other lands that are like streets like that, but I feel like, especially for a new land in 2020, to be so cut back from like concept art and stuff, is kind of just disappointing.
Also, if you compare it to Galaxy's Edge, I mean, Galaxy's Edge is like really big. I mean, it's not that big like in perspective, but I mean it's pretty big. Like you can go all around that place and all these back corners and stuff.
Yeah, it seems like Galaxy's Edge has almost like twice the actual like standing space. Just between like even
I would say it's like triple the standing space of Toy Story Land.
Even just like the Resistance Forest is like half of Toy Story Land.
You have so much space. It's like almost too much space. It becomes like dead space most of the time, but that's kind of good because you have
nobody's
space.
Ever in the First Order section of Galaxy's Edge. It's actually hilarious.
Is that true?
At least when I was there, nobody.
When I'm there, nobody's in the Resistance section.
Like the
Resistance. That's true.
Well, I mean,
no one's ever in the Resistance Forest.
There were, because Rise of the Resistance was happening.
Only if you're waiting for Rise of the Resistance. If you're not waiting for Rise of the Resistance, I think the Resistance Forest is pretty dead.
I kind of hung out there. I was looking at the
unless
X-wings,
Ray is
the
there.
A-wings. Oh yeah, Ray was there sometimes when I was there. I like the resistance
When Ray comes
section.
by, everyone loses it.
Yeah. The most dead section, though, I think, is definitely... Like, there's sometimes where I go over to the First Order section, and you'd think, like, Galaxy's Edge is, like, a failure. You're like, where is everyone? But then you look, like, 2 feet, and you're like, oh, they're all in front of the Millennium Falcon.
Right? It gets...
Or waiting for Oga's Cantina.
But, yeah, and I think in perspective, Toy Story Land came out around the same time as Galaxy's Edge, and it's just... I mean, it's for the kids. Like, when I was there when opening in the morning, right? Everyone's running. A lot of people ran to Toy Story Land. I was one of them, so I was getting on Slinky Dog. But there was a guy, like, running with his kids. He's like, I want to be a toy. I think I've said this in the podcast. Like, ran down. I mean, there's a lot of people who love Toy Story. Like, Toy Story characters are very popular. I love them.
I love Toy Story. I think it's great. I love Slinky Dog Dash. I love Toy Story Mania. I agree. I think there's. It's just we're not upset that we like want to hate the land. It's just we wish it was so much more. Because it can be so much more. Because we know that it can be so much more.
I wish I could hang out in Toy Story Land like I do in Galaxy's Edge and like Hollywood Boulevard. But the thing is, it's like uncomfortable to be there because there's like, it's just a path. You have people trying to get to rides.
Everything's along the main pathway. Half the time the Slinky Dog line is like all the way past down to like Mania.
Yeah, it's
not
fun to be there the whole time.
The exit from Mania, you have to do like a 3-mile trek.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Disney, what is this? Just exit them in Municiburg, for God's sake. What are we doing?
No, I think that this is how it should be, but it is a little funny that like, I'm doing like a 3-mile run to get back.
I think
it's like as long as the actual land.
It is. It's like this huge trek you have to do to get back, and there's all these signs. They're like, yes, you're going the right way. It's this way. Keep going. It's like, when is enough here? Like, I'm just walking for like, and there's a little store in there too. Because I guess they have to like make a reason for all this land. But I think they should have made the Pixar. They had like when Toy Story Mania was there, it was like Pixar Studio. They should have kept that, I feel, and have you rework the entrance so you enter Toy Story Land like through Pixar Studios or something. I think that would have been cool. Kept? What? Backlot Tour.
The Backlot Tour, the Great Movie Ride, the Streets of New York. Was it New York? I don't even remember anymore.
That was Streets of America.
Streets of America. That's what I meant. All we have are those 3 buildings next to the sci-fi.
It's okay, Angelo.
It's not okay, Kevin.
Life moves on.
Gone. It doesn't.
Life moves on. Sometimes the rides we love have to be taken away from us for no reason. It's what happens.
For no reason. They don't have to, though.
They have their reasons. We don't have to like them, but they have their reasons.
It's so sad, dude. Oh, rest in peace, Hollywood Studios.
It's still there.
Barely.
It's you got Galaxy's Edge, Angelo. I don't know why you're complaining.
Listen, dude, as long as you have Lightning McQueen FaceTimes his friend, I'm fine. If they remove that, we riot.
Gosh, if they remove Lightning McQueen FaceTimes his friends, I'm going there with a sign. It's like, this is ridiculous. I'll be the only one. That's fine. I'm gonna riot. What ride am I supposed to waste 20 minutes on? No ride.
Right? Is it really just Woody's Lunchbox? Do they sell like? I feel like I never see like even like treat carts in Toy Story Land.
No, there's not. And toy theming food is a great idea.
True, dude.
If you look at Shanghai, they have like really cool Toy Story themed foods.
Bro, I got these Lego blocks that were like gummies, and you can like build them, dude.
That's cool.
Why don't they sell those? Disney could sell that for like $15, and people would be like, "Oh my god, it's amazing!" Like, there's so many.
They could sell it for $20, and no one would say anything.
Like, there's so much cool stuff, and why is there no Alice Toy Barn? It's literally free money.
They could have literally got rid of Municiberg and put Al's Toy Barn there. Like, we wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
I don't know, Angela. I don't know why they really wanted to get revenge on us or something.
They were like,
don't. We're building Toy Story Land and Hollywood Studios, and then we saw it, and they were like, psych, haha, Toy Story Road, more like it. Like, rats.
But, yeah. And if you like Toy Story Land, I'm glad that you like it. I'm glad that
I mean, I see why
there's
people
like it.
There's a lot to
like. No, there is a lot to like.
It's well themed. The bathrooms are so much fun. But it's a lot to like about Toy Story Land. I think it's really cute. I honestly think it's like, compared to like Dino Land USA, it's like 10 out of 10. We're going to try to say Dino Land USA in every podcast.
That's our mission, is to talk about Dino Land USA and the great movie ride.
I mean, I really like the theming of it. I like it a lot.
I like Dino Land USA too.
I'm just kind of miffed that we don't get the great version that all the other, like the bathrooms in Shanghai are like military like bunkers for the army men. Like, I like our restrooms, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I think
there's just so much they could have done. Also, why is the sightline like that for Galaxy's Edge? There had to have been a little better way. There had to have been.
Also, I like the fencing. They have fence for the sightline at Toy Story Land. They have fences. Those are cool.
And you can see Galaxy's Edge from like highest peak of Slinky Dog, which is dope.
Oh yeah, I love how everything's themed to like Andy's building something, like Slinky Dog. You can see how Andy built it. Like, that's all really cool.
Yeah.
I would love to hang out in Toy Story Land. I just can't unless I go to Shanghai. On a positive note, let's get into some positive stuff. Cinderella's Castle, Angelo.
Cinderella's Castle.
Over at Magic Kingdom, because people it's starting to open up again. We're starting to like build that suspense. We can now see images because they painted it while it was closed, and they're almost done painting it. The pink and blue. Why are you acting surprised?
I didn't know they painted it.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Weren't you there when they were Weren't you there when they were painting it?
I don't know. Was I? I guess I was.
Now it's gonna be pink and blue, which is really cool.
When the moat was gone, that was real weird. Let's be honest.
It is weird when the moat is drained, but it's pink and blue. I love the new castle. No, it was like blue. It was like blue and gray. It was like blue and gray, and silver, I guess, is the. Yeah, what did you not know how many times have you seen the castle? It looks so good now.
I've seen it before and after. Yeah, it does look real good.
Our castle got a facelift, and it's amazing.
I did see some people complaining about how blue the blue was.
Really? What does it hurt your eyes? What?
I don't know, Kevin. I think it'll get sun bleached, right?
It's gonna be much brighter now than it will in like a few years. They have to. It's gonna wear down.
What was the thing with Galaxy's Edge? Like, doesn't the Florida one have like different coloring because it'll get like sun bleached or whatever?
Yeah.
Something like, I don't know. I'm not a thermogeologist.
Yeah. So like, but it's a thing that happens. Like, the color goes away because of weathering and stuff after a while.
Right.
I mean, that's what happened to the castle. So then they repainted it.
Are they going to put the moat back in?
I assume so, Angelo.
I feel like the moat hasn't been there for like 5 years now. Like, when was the last... I don't know when the last time the moat was there.
I feel like I went there, there was no moat. Then I went there again, and there was a moat, and then I went back, and there was no moat again. So I think it's off.
I feel like it's honestly ruins the experience.
Because they have to clean,
moat.
Right? Well, they expanded the area to the left of the castle, so the moat was drained then for a little bit. But I think
they added like that walkway, right?
Yeah. Speaking of space and expanding on it,
because they don't let you go through the castle anymore.
Yeah, well, you can sometimes.
Yeah, like for 1 minute every day.
When when the Friendship Fair is not going.
I don't know.
Dude,
Listen. Hot take: let
Fair.
everyone go through the castle all the time. Get rid of the Friendship Fair. All right.
Okay, I will agree. I don't like
through the castle is such a good experience.
I agree. I agree with that. I like Friendship Fair, but I don't like having a show constantly in front of the castle.
Yeah,
it reminds me of when
it's
like that stupid Star Wars show they had in Hollywood Studios in front of the Chinese theater. The thing was stupid. It was really stupid. The characters would just come on and pose, and everyone in the audience was like, "Yeah!" And I was like, "Everyone needs to chill out, okay? I can see these characters walk around."
Like that show.
They literally come out and pose, Angelo. What am I sitting here watching?
The Chinese theater.
Yeah, it was worse than when they had the sorcerer's hat up. It was worse. It's this bogus show, and they set off explosions every 2 seconds to scare the living daylights out of everybody. I did not like that show.
I don't like
Good
it.
riddance is what I like to say.
That show. Get rid of
it's gone,
the
right?
Castle show. There's no other show. That's it, right?
It's gone, right? Last time I was there, they didn't have it.
I don't know.
Because the Galaxy's Edge opened. And I think it was because of Mickey and Minnie's opened. Good riddance. We don't need you.
Get out of here.
I like Friendship Fair. Just move it somewhere in Fantasyland. Friendship Fair, guys, is great. We are links in a chain made of silver.
I've never seen
gold.
Friendship Fair. There's zero interest in my. Could go my whole life without seeing Friendship Fair. To be honest with you, Kevin.
They do the cute dance that they just like hold hands and then turn and hold hands. It's really cute. What do you?
I don't know what to tell you.
But I think they should definitely move it. Maybe, I don't know. Find somewhere.
I just want to walk through the castle 2020.
I think I like walking through the castle. I think it's something that we don't get a lot, because a lot of times it's because of the Friendship Fair. But if you time it right,
that's why I hate Friendship, because it stops me from walking through the castle.
Wow, Angelo, you're such a nice person.
So what's our next piece of news, Kevin?
Okay, the next piece of news is in the last episode of The Gallery with the Mandalorian. I don't know. Did you watch it, Angelo?
No, not yet.
I only watched a few episodes here and there. Not much was revealed about the Mandalorian. It really was just people sitting down and talking. It was kind of annoying. But one thing that was interesting was, in the episode, with Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Where Dave Filoni's cameo, like they had the two directors, yeah. So that X-wing is the X-wing in Galaxy's Edge in Orlando, which was interesting. They revealed that, right? That is cool. So that when we look at that X-wing, Dave Filoni's butt was in that seat, guys. All those Star Wars nerds.
Is that how is that how they filmed it? They actually took the full X-wing? Yeah. That cannot be true.
That's true. It's what they said. They said that's the one that you see, they were very like for their budget, right? They were reusing things, and they were like, "Are you using this X-wing for Galaxy's Edge?" They're like, "Yeah." Like, "Can we borrow it for a day and film some stuff?" And they're like, "Sure." And so that's what they did.
That's funny, actually. That's cool. One day I'll be in the X-wing seat.
One day, Angelo. I'll see you in the movie. You'll be like, "We're shooting them down." I hope you get not to be mean. I hope you get blown up.
What? Why would you say that?
I think that'd be hilarious. Like, you're
all my
flying.
life, I just want to be an X-wing pilot. Okay.
You're flying, and then just like, "Oh no, they locked onto me," and then you're dead.
You want me to die?
Nice. No, your character.
Oh yeah, sure. That's not what you said 2 minutes ago.
Or you could be one of the characters in Rogue One that just like flies into the force field and just explodes.
Oh my god. Oh, you mean the best Star Wars battle in all of the movies?
Rogue One's fun. The end of Rogue One is crazy.
We should watch Rogue One day.
We should.
You want to watch Rogue One, Kevin?
Yeah, sure.
We'll make that a night.
We'll make plans. Rogue One night.
We'll watch Rogue One. And we'll advertise it as watching the fourth best Star Wars movie.
the fourth. I actually think Rogue One might be my. I don't want to say that. It could be my favorite Star Wars movie.
I mean, episode 7's too good though.
Sure.
I mean, it is. We have controversial Star Wars opinions. So that's very cool. I like that X-wing. That's in my top 10 X-wings.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I had to look up. I didn't know. I guessed it was an X-wing. I didn't know if it was an X-wing. I had to look it up.
Like from the look of it, you didn't know it was an X-wing?
No.
What do you mean? You didn't know what an X-wing looks like?
I'm not a nerd, Angelo.
You don't know which ship is an X-wing? It has an X in the wing.
Yeah, I got that. Like, that makes sense. But like, they have all different names. I could have been. That's why I assumed it was an X-wing, but I didn't know.
Do you know what style of X-wing it is?
No, I'm not a nerd.
It's a T-70 X-wing.
See, and that's the kind of stuff that I had to look up.
That's what the Resistance use, is the T-70 X-wing. So yeah.
Okay.
Listen, dude. Did you know that its hyperdrive system is Incom GBK 685 hyperdrive units, and it has Chempat deflector shield generator.
What? This is why
Fabertech ANC 5.8 tracking computer with IN622A sightline holographic imaging system. Did you know that?
No. This is why in a lot of Star Wars movies I have no idea what's going on, or even the show.
It's just nonsense, to be honest.
In Solo, I didn't know what was going on. Like the third act, I had no idea what was happening.
What a good movie! I love Solo.
I was so confused. I didn't even know what the crime syndicate was. I was supposed to know. I was supposed to do homework before I went in. I didn't know. I didn't know I had to turn in my homework before I entered the theater. Apparently, I did.
I was just reading the Wikipedia page for the X-wing, but for the record, I did know that the T-70 X-wing is the one that Resistance uses, just in case anyone's trying to fight me.
The same thing with Harry Potter was like, I don't know when it started where I needed to know like a bunch of information before I watched a Harry Potter movie. But like Fantastic Beasts, I feel like they're like saying nonsense half the time.
I think no, the movie was just saying nonsense. That was the issue with the movie.
Like literally, again, Fantastic Beasts. I think like the third act, I had no idea what was happening.
Me neither. I went alone to that movie just to go see it, and I go to see Fantastic Beasts, and I'm like, what is happening?
No, like, literally, like. There's like 30 terms for
and
Muggle,
I like the first
right?
one.
Are you talking about Crimes of Grindelwald? Was the one you were confused by?
Yes.
Was that the one? Because I actually followed Crimes of Grindelwald more than I did Fantastic Beasts. But I think it's because I didn't follow. I liked Fantastic Beasts. I thought Crimes of Grindelwald was fine, but I after watching it, I was like, okay, now I know I need to do homework before I go into the next one, because I was very confused for a lot of this. So I did, like, I looked into stuff. So I had a better idea of what was happening, but I was still confused. The Voldemort's snake was a woman now, Angelo. And everyone's like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, what? Doesn't make sense.
I just think it should have been the Dumbledore and Grindelwald series, and forget about Newt Scamander.
Newt is ridiculous. Newt doesn't even belong in the series.
He belonged in the first one as like an anthology story, but he should not be anymore.
Like, why is Dumbledore recruiting Newt Scamander, the weirdo with all the animals, to help him take down Grindelwald?
It's literally just the Pokemon movie at this point. He's like, go owl, go.
Gotta catch them all.
Thing. That's literally what the movie is.
And also, why does everybody have a crush on Newt? His assistant likes him. His assistant likes him. The girl likes him.
Let's be honest, Kevin. The end of Fantastic Beasts 2, when they're showing like World War I or World War II, is so cool. And then like
when
one of the main characters switches sides. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get her switching sides.
So cool.
Also, sorry, spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
For Crimes of Grindelwald.
I don't think anybody cares about Crimes of Grindelwald, to be honest with you.
But when what's her name switches sides, I felt that was weird.
I liked it.
The whole thing where Ezra Miller's character is related to Dumbledore.
Didn't Ezra Miller's character die?
He died and then he came back. Unexplainably.
We're never getting a third movie. Let alone it didn't do good, but now
we are.
The people
But they're literally like, JK's gone nuts. We're looking at the script now. Because the problem was they made Fantastic Grindelwald without looking at her script or anything.
Yeah.
They put too much trust in her.
All the stuff was what J.K. Rowling said, what Ezra Miller did, the video. Like,
yeah,
I don't think this movie's ever coming out, dude.
Oh my gosh, it's poor Warner Brothers.
I mean,
they invested
I don't think
a lot.
Anybody likes the movies either.
A lot of
Harry Potter fans don't like it. I feel like
I have friends that are really into Harry Potter. Crimes of Grindelwald is like their favorite movie ever. I mean, with the other Harry Potter movies, of course. But like,
really, I know people who don't like them.
Right, and I've brought up to them and I'm like, listen, how do you defend this movie? Because it didn't make any sense. And then they're like, well, you just need to know about the lore and all this nonsense. And I'm like, well, I'm not. So
the worst part is the actual story there that I've been told by people is like actually cool. Like the stuff that ends up happening between Dumbledore and Grindelwald. And like
Grindelwald and Dumbledore are very interesting.
Yeah, like their like relationship, whether I think it's hinted that it's like a relationship. Like that'd be super cool to explore. But why are we on Newt Scamander?
Exactly. If you want to do a Grindelwald and Dumbledore movie, do a Grindelwald and Dumbledore movie. Don't be sticking Newt in there with his weird friends and the Nifflers.
Yeah, I think if it was a Dumbledore Grindelwald like their relationship and everything that happens to them, and then I know like what happens at the end of that story because it's like in the Harry Potter lore. It's super cool stuff. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I'm just wrong. I don't know that much about this series. That's our talk about Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I can't believe they're making a land out of that movie.
I don't know why either. I think it's a waste of their time. But hey, why not build a Pokemon land? What about Fantastic Beasts?
Right? Where's Pokemon? Right? Where is it?
It's in your dreams. That's where it is.
I literally just hire me. I'll make the Pokemon land. I'll do it for free. I just want the Pokemon land.
Yes. So that's how it is.
That's our. Do we have any more news, Kevin?
You know what's interesting? Right? This isn't on our docket, but
oh no.
You know that Jurassic Park coaster, their Jurassic World coaster they're building in Jurassic Park in Islands of Adventure?
Yeah.
Are we going to get an announcement like what the hell this is?
Why are they building a Jurassic World coaster when you could build the Jeep ride?
That is true. But they're building the coaster. Everybody knows they're building this coaster. Yet according to Universal, they're not building a coaster there.
Listen, I think you got to combine Universal's animatronics and properties like Jurassic World and Jurassic Park, and like their animatronic dinosaurs are dope with Disney's rides, because dinosaur is, I know dinosaur is outdated and old, but it's better than the boat ride. Okay, it's better than the Jurassic Park boat ride.
Do you think so?
Well, now you're making me doubt it.
No, not to make you doubt. I don't know. I've never thought about
the new Jurassic World. Do you see the new boat ride, like the updated one?
I don't like the.
I don't like it at all.
I don't like. Okay, the gray color palette, I hate it. The Jurassic World color, like the blue and gray, I don't like it.
Yeah, I
like the more traditional,
like yellowish, like red gray.
Yeah. And I'm a fan of blue. Our whole channel is blue. Most of our art is blue. I don't like the blue on Universal Studios Jurassic World. Agreed. I don't know why they redid it. I don't know. There's like a screen on it now. Why are you doing this to us, Universal? Every time I'm like, ooh, you're doing something good. You do something nonsensical.
But I don't know why they're not talking about the coaster. That's weird.
Because they filed a patent for Velocicoaster. So that's what everyone's assuming the title is. The Velocicoaster. The construction is going on. They're building, like, literally you could see the inversions of it. Like, the coaster is being built. And according to Universal, they haven't announced anything. Like, why are they, like, not talking about it?
Dude, they still have that pterodactyl ride.
Yeah, but I
That's
don't think we... Can we go on it?
Oh, we might not. We might be too big for that.
Yeah, you have to.
I think it's the coolest ride ever made, to be honest with you.
I remember last time I wanted to go on it, I was at Universal, and I was like, they're like, it's for kids. Like,
guests over 56 inches tall must be accompanied by a rider meeting the 36-inch height requirement.
So is that why? Why can't it be for everybody?
How big is 56 inches?
I don't know. Can do that out for me.
It's 4'6", it looks like.
Taller than 4'6", and you can't ride?
That's kind of buns.
See, this is where it really works in your favor to be a short person.
Kevin, we're too fat to go on this ride is what they're telling us.
You're body shaming us. See, Disney, they don't body shame you. They just squeeze you into the seat, okay?
They're like, yeah, at any cost.
There's people that get off Disney rides and they're like, that really hurt my butt. I like squeezed into it. I find that so funny.
I mean, what's it called? Space Mountain hurts me.
Well, that's because it jerks you around.
No,
Space Mountain doesn't hurt.
It's the worst ride ever made.
I like the pain, but it doesn't really hurt.
I can understand though. Some of the Disney rides are a little tight, and they try to squeeze tons of people in. Like I don't know how many people need to be in this row on It's a Small World, but it's not this many people.
They try to shove as many people in their rows as possible. Like, and I'm sure it's both. Like one time, what ride was I on? I was on a ride, and I was like, this is definitely over the limit. Like you could have. I think it was Pirates. It was like 7 people in a row or something. And I was like, no, it was 6. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this is for 4 people, guys. I'm pretty sure 4 is the limit here. And no, there was like 6. I was like, literally, I can't squeeze in here anymore.
That's funny.
Unacceptable. Did I ever tell you I was on, I went on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and there was a dog next to me?
It was how? Was it a service dog?
I guess. I mean, I assumed so. I was on the ride, right?
Did he enjoy it?
I was like, yeah, he was having a blast. But I was like, we couldn't like give this family with these people with a dog their own row. Like, what's going on? I'm literally sitting next to a dog.
Dogs?
Right, no one asked me.
That's funny though. But yeah, we've
especially
gone way
then.
Off.
Sorry, I was like, especially then when we had like especially then when we had the coronavirus stuff. If I was allergic and I started sneezing, we would have had an issue.
Oh.
There would have been an issue.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, we've gone off track. That's how we like to end it here on the Mouse Man podcast.
That's how we do it. You know, we have a good time. But I think that's all there is to say about Toy Story Land.
Toy Story
That's
Land.
what we're still talking about.
It's a lot of fun. I think it's cute. I'm just kind of mad that we, in America, didn't get the good version. I'll say it, Disney. You hurt our feelings.
Rebuild Hollywood Studios 2020. Thank you so much for tuning into the Of Mouse and Men podcast. If you made it this far, leave us a review or a like or a subscribe or anything that you can do. We thank you so much for watching. Oh
yes, if that was remotely coherent to you, do what he said. In other terms, subscribe, follow, do your thing. As always, I'm Kevin.
I'm Angelo.
And until next time.
So long, everybody.